everybody. I'm Lassi Tolonen from Clear Channel, which is a company cooperating with the cities, mall owners, and other large landlords. And we are providing smart city solutions, and we are owning and holding a massive out-of-home advertising network in 30 countries, which makes all that possible, actually. The theme which was given by the organizer to me was smart city mobility. And we will discover something like 12,000 years of innovations and how people will adapt those. And then we will look at few examples how we can really provide some large services. I will not talk about the urbanization because it's widely covered already here, and we all know that cities are bigger and bigger and they're getting more and more power. And I'm not going to talk only about the sustainability either, because that's really well covered as well. So I will talk about the wheel. What an innovation. We're using the wheel innovation billions of times per second in this planet. And this is a kind of a key innovation how to avoid the fraction between the ground and moving object built by the gravity. And as we can see from the first wheel, there are a little bit more sophisticated solutions for that as well. Maybe those one-wheelers are quite a scary experience from the beginning to the nowadays. And the other way to move in the ground is of course walking, but there are two other innovations for mobility. One is the wing. We can organize the mobility in the air, and other one is a floating object called boat. And my favorite method to move from the place A to B is a sailing boat, which is a combination of the wing and floating object. We were sailing with our friends something like a month ago, and I spoke with Natalia Rincon, who is an architect and smart city expert, and we were discussing about the different ways to move. And we spoke about the future concepts of the mobility. Can we find any? And actually we found two, which are somehow already in the implementation phase. One is teleportation, and the other one is the virtual reality. Think about all these challenges which we are having with the mobility. Teleportation, that's something. Move from the place A to B without journey, without transportation, or virtual reality, discover new places without moving at all. And the holograms are something which are mixing those two elements. But before we cannot just wait to get the teleportation in place and easy to use. But people are really good to implement innovation. So how fast things are changing. This is a chart from US explaining how fast people has been adapting new technologies. For example, electricity. It took 50 years for electricity to reach 80% of the US households. Internet, it took 20 years to reach that same level of the usage. And smartphones, less than 5 years. So we are better and better to implement new ways to use technology. And that was the 100 year. This is 12,000 years. And you can see how the population in this planet is growing really rapidly within the last hundreds of years. And you can see also that all those innovations are cornerstones of the human being, which has innovated, are actually happening right now. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And as we are in a smart city event, the first city was found roughly 4,000 years before the Christ. So it's actually quite new innovation. because the wheel was innovated something 2.5 million years ago when Homo sapiens taking place here. So we can see that we can adapt, create innovations, but we cannot wait. We need to handle the situation today as well. And today mobility can be split to two main categories. One is the transporting people, and other one is the transporting goods. So the public transportation part or box, which includes also biking and walking, there is one challenge, which we can see here in Helsinki metropolitan as well area. We are using more and more rails because it's the most efficient way to move big crowds of people. And the challenge is that how to handle that last mile transportation from the railway station or metro station to home. When we are talking about the cars, still in the mega cities like London, 50% of all transportation in the city is done by the car. In Helsinki, it's something like 57%. And of course, the challenge is how we can organize that sustainable way to use private cars. And when it comes to logistics, there is a huge mega trend, which is online shopping. And there is a survey which estimates that the global logistics and transportation will increase 45% before 2040, mainly because of this big phenomenon. So we need to control and organize somehow the micro logistics in the city. So we know the solutions. We know that we need to handle the micro logistics of the people, micro transportation. We need to create the infrastructure for the sustainable vehicles, e-cars, and so on. And we need to know that we need to handle somehow the trucks driving around the city center without chaos. But there are quite same challenges for all of those. One is money. Should we use taxpayers' money to create the infrastructure for the people to buy Teslas or e-cars? Should we pay money to support online shopping just to getting that to the control? When is the right time? Should we do it right now or after next elections? And what are the right priorities? There are quite many other important things in place as well. And how should we avoid the chaos? And here in Finland, we have implemented few solutions already. City bikes for the micro transportation, micro mobility sector. Sustainable vehicles, we have e-car charging networks in place. And also, we are implementing Agora parcel automate solutions also. So in Helsinki, Espoo and Vantaa, and in Turku, we are working together with the HKL and with the cities and with City Bike Finland for providing that city bike service. And for Helsinki people, habitants, it took 3 years to get Helsinki city bikes the most successful biking system in the world. So a lot of non-bikers move their behavior to be bikers. This e-car charging station networks, we are building those to Turku right now and to Helsinki Airport. And those are funded in a different way than with the taxpayers' money. And then this logistics thing. We are working together with a startup called Agora, and they have implemented the hardware, software, and robotics to place parcel automates to the natural transportation paths of the people to avoid the trucks are rolling in the cities and trying to find the parcel to the right home door for the people. And that's one solution. And those are mostly done without taxpayers' money. That's because of the out-of-home advertising network which we are having. We are using those surfaces as a part for the advertising products, and we are selling the people contacts to the advertisers and driving revenue to build those solutions via that way. The latest number which we have published worldwide is from 2017, and we contributed almost $500 million to the cities as a rent or other benefits. So that's a quite big money, and we are doing partly our share. Of course, those does not solve everything, but those are something concrete solutions which we can do. Okay, then is a question, can city development go wrong? And we can see some cities like Shanghai, Moscow, or many others where is some phenomenon going on already which are not really good. And can that chaos really become a big problem for the cities? If you think to the history, this is Angkor Wat, this is Machu Picchu. Those were the most famous places or biggest civilizations in that time, and both of those were ruined. Or we can think about Detroit. Detroit was the richest city in the US in 50s, with a habitant of 2 million. And nowadays it looks like this, and the habitant is less than 700,000. So Detroit is a quite modern example when positive trend really turned to the negative spiral. So we need to do things right now to avoid chaos. And together with the public and private cooperation, with the right people, with the right solutions, we can start to build those things right now. So we use data, we use all the technologies, but we are creating real solutions. So thank you. If you want to get the city bikes or e-car charging networks or parcel automates to your city, we are having a booth over there, so welcome to discuss. Thank you.